afternoon, everybody. This is John Deschler coming to you from the Mount Angel Theater studio in beautiful downtown Mount Angel, Oregon, at 220 East Charles Street, right across the street from the City Hall. And I am here today to say hello to everybody after cleaning up, closing up after the 2024 Mt Angel Oktoberfest. I'm going to do doing a little audio test right now too, as I'm speaking into this microphone closely. And I'm going to turn it off right now. It'll be the Shure PG57. And I'm just going to start talking to this other microphone. Which one is this? This is an Audio Technica ATM 10. And I'm trying to see if I can come up with one of the microphones in the cadre. Testing. Okay, there it is. Let me just see, I'm walking over all the way to the computer. I think I'm going to turn that one up just a little bit on the gain and the audio a little bit more, a little bit beyond the 3 o'clock setting. And just try that and see how that works, because I have some elderly guests I want to invite back to this live stream podcasting effort someday soon. And I want to make sure that I can capture good quality audio, possibly and plausibly from a distance here. This is about 4.5, 5 feet. I've got the microphone set up at the convolution of the angled floor and the flat floor of the stage. So I'll go to about 4 feet right here. In any case, I want to send out a big thank you to any and all and everybody who interfaced with us here at the 2024 Mt Angel Oktoberfest. It was a beautiful weekend, well attended, that is to say the festival was, and we had a steady flow of interested people in and out of the theater, and some wonderful, wonderful performers, including the Portland Lesbian Choir, Sean Shim and Lena Hwang opera duo, accompanist and singer, the First Congregational United Church of Christ Choir under the direction of Grant Edwards, the young and very talented Juan Olasalon, who's now currently at the George Fox University, and my friend Merrick Woods Harris, composer, pianist, musician, performer. In addition to my Tune Tours quartet and quintet and duo, all 3 of those groups were heard during the Oktoberfest, as well as my new partnership with a bunch of Salem-based and oriented brass players in the new Willamette Valley Brass Quintet, and that was really fun to do as well. Now I'm going to move this microphone that much closer, split the difference, see if that makes much of a difference. It's about 2.5 to 3 feet maybe from me. And yeah, so we met all kinds of people from all over the place, made some new friends, as often happens, and reinforced some old friendships. And I had as well my dear local friend and fellow photographer Kathy Cheney, has a bunch of her work up here on the walls right now. Really fun series that she did in downtown Portland based on the Black Lives Matters activities that took place a number of years ago downtown Portland, and a lot of the graffiti and whatnot. Kathy was the Portland Business Journal photographer for over 27 years. She's been a friend of mine for probably just about 15 years, and she lives here in Mount Angel, and I really appreciated her getting me her pieces to have on the walls during the Oktoberfest. So the 2 full days of live performances were essentially Saturday and Sunday, and those live streams, I just turned it all on and let it run. Ironically, it ran for about 5 hours each day. So there are, on this Mount Angel Theater Studio YouTube page, there is residing those 2 live streams, and you can scroll through them and listen to the opera singer or the brass quintet or any of the other groups that performed with decent audio and visual resolution, I believe. Always going to be trying to increase the quality and improve it, but I think we did okay. I should be posting this for the live stream right now, but I'm not gonna, because I'm not sure how well this microphone's gonna work. And this is as much a thank you live stream and a wrap, that's a wrap of the 2024 Oktoberfest, as well as a reintroduction of the talking live stream efforts that I've started here the last month or so. And Kathy Cheney was my first guest, by the way, in that endeavor. And this particular podcast is a rebooting, if you will, after the adaptation of the space for the Oktoberfest. As well as a bit of a technical test on this microphone in particular, the audio technique. What else did I want to say? Well, I really want to thank everybody. In the last 6 to 8 months, I reached out to any number of urban arts organizations, many. And those that ended up coming out here and participating with us during the Oktoberfest were the ones that obviously were meant to be the ones to come out here and do this. They were all really wonderful. They all kind of serendipitously fell into my lap in various beautiful ways. And I just really want them all to know, all the performers and those that contributed anything, as well as the filmmakers, I'd like to add. I'll go into that in a minute. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. You helped me get through the summer with this space and on mission, and I am forever in all of your debt and will always do all I can to support your efforts. That would again be the Portland Lesbian Choir, the First Congregational United Church of Christ Choir, and choral director Grant Edwards, Sean Shim and Lena Huang, Juan Olasalan, Neil Grandstaff, Loretta Stites, Nate Deschler, my beautiful son, Justin Shepage, and the gentlemen in my new Willamette Valley Brass Quintet. I haven't memorized their full names yet. Brett, Eric, and Ben, and Evan. That's all their first names. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's not easy getting here during the Oktoberfest. It's very easy getting here the rest of the year, about 329 days a year. Not so much so during the Oktoberfest. So it really was greatly appreciated that everybody came out and helped. and with the live performances. And then I have to send out a special thank you to Mr. Mike Turner from the Salem Art Association and the second annual Silver Falls Film Festival. He gave me a link to a bunch of student shorts that were part of the second annual Silver Falls Film Festival. Wonderful stuff, beautiful work. I think I played that hour-long program or excerpts thereof at least twice over the 4 days, maybe 3 times. And then my dear old friend and acquaintance, Joe Wilson and Jim Gilbert, who wrote, produced, and did an incredible job on a movie called An Oregon Story, which is phenomenal. You can watch it at home. You can come here and watch it at the Mount Angel Theater. You just go to their website, An Oregon Story, no spaces, no dots, .com. There's a 25-minute version that's very good and a 40-minute version that's really an excellent long-form documentary about a very important Oregon story. So I'm not going to say much more else about that other than thank you one and all for helping me out and helping us out here at the Mount Angel Theater. Dre, next door at the 210 Pub, we appreciate you immensely for your support. At the 210 Pub, 210 Pub East, I think it's called now, right next door to the Mount Angel Theater, across the street from the City Hall and the Post Office and the Glockenspiel in downtown Mount Angel. And lastly but not leastly, my dear friend Donna Brown and her Mount Angel Wellness Center, who provided parking for all of my visiting artists. So I want to be on the record that I appreciate everybody who helped make this last Oktoberfest what I would consider to be a success here at the humble 100-seat Mount Angel Theater. Now, I'm going to do this backwards. My name is John Deschler, for those of you who do not know me, and I am a globally published photographer, a working musician, a bit of a filmmaker, a substitute teacher, educator, lifelong educator, the vice president of the Oregon Substitute Teacher Association, and the proprietor of this humble, historic 100-seat Mount Angel Theater studio. The studio that was originally built, the theater that was originally built in 1912 as a silent movie house was eventually purchased by my dear old friend Stu Rasmussen in 1980. And Stu began the conversion to what you see now and all these cameras and other footage and videos that I've made, a live performance theater and a video or still production studio. And in essence, we just put on a little festival here within the festival. That is to say, produced by me, offerings for 4 days at the Mount Angel Theater as an addition to an augmentation to the standard Bavarian programming of the Mount Angel Oktoberfest. And it was very well received by many. This space is a humble, just under 3,000 square feet, with a stage that's roughly, I believe, last time I measured it, I'm going to say about 32 by 25 ultimately, something in that department. I've done many photo shoots on this stage, some video shoots, and I intend to be doing more of this podcasting and live streaming. In my long career, I've photographed commercial images for clients as large and diverse as Nokia, Nike, Southern Comfort, Kaiser Permanente, Sony, Panasonic, Hewlett-Packard, Intel, Xerox, and many, 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 many more. And as a working musician, particularly in the last 10 years or so here in the mid-Willamette Valley, I've, with my groups, I have performed all over, actually, the valley and the state in diverse settings, from clubs to restaurants, festivals, colleges, and much more. Most recently, the Blue Mountain Community College in Pendleton, the Mount Hood Jazz Festival last year. I had my Jazz Passages archive exhibited, and we performed with dear friend and guest vocalist Marilyn Keller. And the year before that, my quartet opened for Nora Jones at the Brit Festival in Jacksonville, Oregon. So I'm pretty serious about my engagement with the arts and the community, and I think my friends Stu Rasmussen and Roger Paulson saw all of that, knew all of that, and they made it almost impossible for me to say no to the advent of me becoming the proprietor of this humble space. It's a kind of a cool space in a very small town, which makes it a little bit of a conundrum. And I'm going to go back to this microphone now, and I think I'm going to turn this one off. Testing, just to make sure that some of this is audible, well audible, and with good audio, since we know that the audio, thank you, Joe, makes the video or the film, and I don't disagree with that. So, Stu, my friend Stu, who bought this place in 1980, was the first openly transgendered mayor in the country, and he was a very bright individual. Interesting character, bright individual, and ultimately as well was a major community member. And he had a lot of support for many years. He was on the Silverton City Council, and I think he was mayor 2 or 3 times over a significant portion of his adulthood. While he ran the Palace Theater, downtown Silverton, a retail movie theater concession, with his dear friend Roger Paulson. Both of these guys were my friends, and they both wanted me to take over this space. They both sadly passed in 2020. I think 2020, no. Excuse me, so sorry. Would have been 2021 and 2022. They both passed. So I've been carrying this mission on now for 2.5 years, trying to make this space relevant, functional, and viable in this small town. You might be saying, what is this big painting behind you, John? Well, let me quickly reflect on that. Wonderful painting called Chaya is by my dear friend and beloved artist, John Simpkins. You can see John in the curvature of the back of the spine and the neck of his poodle, Chaya, and just in this sea of color and design and subtle details that is just exquisite. And John lived for 10 years in a ghost town called Andrews at the edge of the Alvord Desert in the base of the Steen Mountains, up to and including into about the first year of COVID. At the end of that first year of COVID, he was asked after 10 years to leave that property. But he had worked there, cultivated quite a body of paintings that he did. Lifelong artist, incredible. Look him up. John Simpkins, Simpkins. I believe his John is John. You can't miss him if you Google him, because he's had exhibits, he's in collections, he's been at it his whole life. He's a very sweet, sensitive, and discerning man. And we met originally online as he cultivated over time a significant Facebook following and group of friends that would support him while living out there in the Alvord Desert in a ghost town without very many people nearby. And ultimately met him in person out there with my son Nate and my dog Theo in that first summer of 2020, of the first year of the collective COVID experience. And we went out there and performed for him and Chaya in the back of my pickup truck. So you can find that on my YouTube page, my other YouTube page, which is John Deschler, or you can just search YouTube for Tune Tours. My COVID reaction was Tune Tours, going outdoors and performing for folks where they were from safe distances with lots of fresh air surrounding and blowing around us all. And in any case, John gave me custody of this largest of his paintings in the last 2 years as he was preparing to finally depart Oregon after 3 decades or more and moved to Iowa. He now resides in one of the Amana colonies in Iowa, and he's, I think, getting close to picking up a paintbrush again. And so I encourage you to look him up. And I have this painting here because I think it's so beautiful, and it's born out of his Oregon experience, highly informed by his whole life experience, but certainly by much of his organic and intimate relationship with Mother Nature in Oregon, and particularly that last 10 years in the Alvord Desert. And I just really relish it, and his talent and sensibilities. And when we realized that I was going to take over this space, I started talking with him about, well, maybe if I'm taking over the space and you're going to leave the state, maybe I could take Chaya, the painting, not the dog. He's got the dog, beautiful and loving dog that it is, and keep a little bit of you in Oregon here for all of us and be a little bit of a caretaker. So that's what I've done, and at the moment it's found its home in my podcasts, and I love that because I think it deserves, and he deserves, all the attention that it and he can get because he's done the work, as it were. So that's the explanation on the background for this podcast. And I will be having more guests moving forward. I'm thinking rough average will be about 2 a week, I'm believing, moving forward, if I have anything to say about it. At this unique advent of rural country farmland America in the humble little Bavarian Catholic town of Mt Angel, Oregon, known for its Oktoberfest and its historic Benedictine Abbey, where they train and educate monks and priests to become Catholic monks and priests. About 40 miles south of Portland, Oregon, about 8 miles off of the I-5. Take the exit in Woodburn, follow the signs to Silverton, make a left downtown Mt Angel on Charles Street. And we're about 20 miles or so northeast of the capital of Salem, Oregon. So it's an interesting nexus, an intersection at this point in time with the World Wide Web, my availability, so far a cadre of decent old equipment working to bring this all together. To imagine that someone might be able to do a grassroots kind of little TV station, YouTube page, and begin to create a lot of authentic, real, topical content in this era. It just dawned on me that it's provocative and relevant most plausibly to the perpetuation of this space for what it was designed for, because this town and this area is never going to be sufficient, or at least not for a long time, to support this space as an arts space. But if I, with all of my will and connection and connectivity, can garner it enough attention from the nearby urban communities and this web-based reality, then I'm thinking plausibly it's possible that I could engineer a way where it is paying for itself, and that's what I need it to do, so that I can keep it relevant and available for the public. And the final experiment and endeavor for this year's cycle of life here at the Mount Angel Theater is that it is available for rentals. And we've had any number of private movie watching parties, birthday parties, etc., etc. You bring your favorite 50, 25, 50, 75, up to 100 friends and family, and your favorite band or your favorite DVD, and you can come in here and have a really good time. We can bring food in, pretty much whatever we want to do. So if it's a private party, we can pretty much do whatever we want to do. So contact me, John Deschler, at Gmail, for more information about that and anything else. If you'd like to join me in a live stream podcast, please as well send me a message, either on YouTube, the YouTube page, or on my email at johndeschler@gmail. You can Google me. The spelling is JONDESHLER. And otherwise, it's the Mount Angel Theater Studio.com, MT Angel Theater Studio, no spaces, no dots.com, takes you to the website. And as well on YouTube, you can get here to this YouTube page by searching Mount Angel Theater Studio. Mount is, generally speaking, abbreviated MT space. So I just wanted to get on here today to reestablish this effort in the podcasting realm. I'm ready. I recovered the last 2 days from the Oktoberfest endeavors at 61 years old. Working 12-hour days, 4 days in a row is a little bit much. Exceedingly grateful to my eldest son, Nate Deschler, and my younger son, Andrew Deschler. Nate flew out from Nashville and was a huge help. I had to get him to the Portland International Airport, however, yesterday morning at 4:30 a.m. for a 6 a.m. flight. So it's been exhausting, but we're back. Mount Angel TV is back, and I hope you continue to visit and check out who and what is happening at the Mount Angel Theater Studio, otherwise known as the Mats. And as well, when you consider to take a little drive and come on down and discover Mount Angel and the surrounding areas, please reach out to me, because I love being helpful and a bit of a tour guide. Just off the top, the Benedictine Mount Angel Abbey and the Silver Falls State Park are two must-see locations that are nearby, and more than worth it, and very inspirational. So once again, thank you everybody for helping out at the 2024 Oktoberfest. Look forward to seeing you moving forward, and don't forget, we do live performances here moving forward. I think I'm going to commit to the second Saturday night of every month. And during the non-Oktoberfest season, which is 352 days a year, 349 days a year, or 300, whatever, I'm losing track now. 359 days a year. It's very easy to come to the Mount Angel Theater Studio. So on second Saturday nights, I will, generally speaking, do something here. Most often it will be a live performance, but occasionally it might be a film or other offerings. So just stay tuned and check the homepage of the Mount Angel Theater Studio.com website. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to sign off for now, and I hope to see and hear from you all very, very soon.